hear the voice of reason.
Welcome to another edition of Tell It How It Is, No Filter. I am your host, Voice of Reason. Thanks for joining me. And shall we get to it? But first and foremost, make sure you hit the notification bell, like, comment, subscribe, share. Heavy on the comments. The last episode, I really was grateful for what was said. So sometimes it's not about how much volume, meaning like, numbers per se, but the actual authentic feedback, the actual verbiage that you can tell is genuine. You know what I mean? So I take that over a bunch of likes any day. So shout out to the comments on the last episode for sure. And we're going to get right to business. Oh, another thing. My alter ego, Quiet Place 3. That's Hush, a.k.a. How You Stop Him. No Noise, Mr. Soundproof. Check that out. It's on all streaming platforms. Apple Music, Spotify, Tidal. Heard there's a little tension with Tidal for some people that used to be Tidal supporters. I'm hearing a little, but we're going to leave that there. Amazon Music, YouTube Music is becoming that thing. I don't know about you, and wherever you listen to music at, I'm starting to really dig YouTube Music. Either way, A Quiet Place 3 out now. Appreciate you. Let's go. For peace and sanity, sometimes tell yourself, I chose this. Situations you find yourself in, as you enter it, you know that, don't ignore this. There was these steps in play when you approach a situation, when you get in a situation, when that situation expires. All of that was a visual. What lens were you looking through at the time? I don't know. But when you go back, maybe the lens is a little clearer. Either way, you did choose it, no matter how it turned out. You know, you can sit there and beat yourself up about the whys and hows and all the boo-hooing and all that. And I'm not clowning or teasing about that. That is emotion you're going to go through. But if you put strongly, I chose this, and accept the fact that you placed yourself there, placed yourself in position, that might stand the test of time of the healing, the peace, the sanity. And it takes a while, I sit here and I speak on things as if it's perfected. No, I'm just saying, like, life is such a trial and error that, you just go through the motion. Your brain keeps going and you say, yo, how can I make it easier? How can I make it better? How can I get through? If you keep challenging yourself mentally, you may come up with things. It may not be like the cheat code right away results, but how to carry certain things after a while. You're supposed to start to get hip to it. You're supposed to move differently, react differently once things have happened on occasions. You know what I'm saying? Things will keep happening, but to really lock in, just say, I chose this. You know what I mean? Because that'll help all the bitterness, the trauma that you're going to carry for however long it takes for you to get over it. And that's still going to happen even if you listen to me and jump right in front with this. There'll still be healing to be done. But I just mean so you don't really lose it. Because some people get so into it and so lost in what happened that they can't move on because they so invested in it. And that's negative. You know what I mean? Shout out. Remember, I'm not super religious, but I'm not. I say that because That's not what this platform is. What I really do and how I really feel about other matters that I don't really discuss here is my business. So it's not like I'm really trying to go against anything. You feel me? So when I say that, don't take it too literal. But anyway, 2819 Church, Pastor Philip, he was like, he gave an example of like the energy people be wasting. Like I said it you have a fallout with whoever. Like I'm not even gonna put a specific title on who. And he said that how, there are people that's dead, that there's people who are alive still beefing and holding on to whatever happened between them two, and the person ain't even here no more. And it's like, yo, that's crazy to invest that type of energy, living or dead. So I say that to give you this. I chose this. Just say, you know what? L's get taken every day. There ain't no tally on that. So if you jump right in front with that, it should ease the pain a little better. Keep your peace and sanity a little more intact. All right? How important is money really? We need that to survive. Root of all evil. In God we trust. I'm not going to get into the other 20. Just check out 2819 Church. Yes, we need it to survive. But do you understand that there is no guaranteed sanity involving money all the time? If you have a lot of money, you still stress and go crazy over the things you buy at that scale, the things you provide at that scale, who to trust around you at that level. There's still precautions. Now, people, if you took a survey, people would rather those problems than broke problems, right? So what happens when you don't really have money? You stressing how to eat. You stressing how to keep the lights on. You stressing how to just maintain in general, right? That's a stress. Now, what about our middle class people? The people who we ain't rich, we ain't poor. We right in the middle. We paycheck to paycheck, possibly slightly better than that. There's still stress because you gotta maintain the money you accumulate and how you move to avoid going broke. So the middle class stress over at least staying afloat. The lower class broke people just trying to make a way. The rich people just trying to be richer. Who has it easy? Yeah, you would rather the rich, right? You'd rather be there, right? It just sounds better. You get to see how they move because you see social media and TV. So you see how that looks. And that's what you're attracted to. But they got problems as well. How many people? I don't got to sit here and say how many. Didn't a certain rich folk off itself? I'll let you dictate who that is and Google that. Google some of these cats. That man ain't money. I thought money could buy happiness. It clearly can't. So I know people with bread that still took themselves out of here. So how important is money really? That's not a global question. That's an individual question. To you, how important is it really? I know the world needed to rotate. So it's hella important in the world, in the day-to-day, in the economy. Economy is money. In the stocks, bonds, all that. Crypto. Man, they overdo it for sure. I could definitely rattle a room with a question like that in a lot of rooms, and it'll start a stir up. But try to value things less material is the point. Because no matter what level you get to in finance, the stress will be very close by. There's levels, but it'll be there. I promise you that. And don't get it twisted. On a final note on that, yeah, I would rather the rich people problems too, but it's still problems. You never really get away from it. All right. Next. Do you regret anything You thought there was more? Do you regret anything? I just, always put stuff in parentheses to add to it. Like, if you can do it over, would you avoid it or give it another shot and try harder? This piggybacks a little bit off of For Peace and Sanity, say you chose this. So whatever doesn't work out, you learned something, right? Now, during the hike of it, during the peak of it, should I say, with it bothering you, you butt hurt over it. You're triggered by it. You're upset about it. Whatever it is. You can't see what you learned per se. You can't see what was good, if any was good. You're just in a zone, right? So if you ask a person in that mindset, they probably tell you, yeah, they have stuff they regret. Once you get over it or over it enough, you learn that everybody got a story. Everybody is here for a purpose, and everybody's going to have a story to tell, not just Biggie. We would love to have the perfect story, a very good story, a story with little to no mistakes, a story with a little to no heartbreak, a story of little to no financial hardship. If we could design it, and a lot of us, the older we get, if we could go back, here's where the regret comes. If we could go back knowing what we know now, the changes we would make. You could sit there and give that energy all day. The thing is, the reason you're where you're at now, the knowledge you have, what not to do, how to approach things, was because you had to go through the bull crap. The stuff that stung. The stuff you wish you could take back. No, you don't want to take that back, because then you won't be polished as you is now. You wouldn't be hip to shit. You would get got now. And that was, oh man, that hit personal right there. Damn, Voice of Reason. When you go through shit and you get older, that's where it stings more, because it's like, all right, I had my experiences when I was supposed to, 20s, 30s, whatever. After the 30s, you like, whatever goes left, you take it to heart a little more, because it's like, I'm still getting got. Damn, that still happened to me? I ain't learned. I ain't catch on. I ain't peeped that. I ain't stopped that in its tracks before it escalate. The fuck is wrong with me? That's why you do that. You know what I mean? But for my younger crowd, 20s, 30s, even younger than that, don't trip. Don't trip. Those years are for you to fuck up to an extent. I have something later to challenge that though. Don't regret anything. See what you could take from it that you learned. You know what not to do the next time, whether being too damn lenient, too damn caring, too damn giving, I mean, you keep that if that's you, but just pay attention to who you give that to. And that's it. So take the word regret out. And that's it. Far as giving something another shot and trying harder, I think I just put that there to be diverse, because we're not really doing that. I don't suggest things that go left to go and try again. I mean, I'm gearing that towards love, right? In business and ventures like that, for money, for purpose, I'll give you leeway on that. If you try to start a business, let's say in, I don't know, clothing, and that didn't work, now you want to do skincare or something, or juicing, or, you just go a whole different route as far as the item you're trying to sell, then of course give it another shot and try harder. But as far as remaining in the same and doing, if you try to sell t-shirts and the t-shirt that said hard knock life don't sell, Don't go and do another t-shirt that says life knocks hard. Like it's like, just let the t-shirt go, bro, and do something else. That's all I'm saying. So just try to not regret. If you're gonna give something another shot, that's a different approach. Make it different circumstances, different purpose, different meaning, if possible. But you know me, if you're gonna not listen and still do it, just be prepared. Now, regret gives a better chance of happening, because if you're repeating shit and it just continues to slap you in the face, of course now regret will have room. The goal here is to not give regret room. No wiggle room. No life. You know what I mean? All right. All right. Attention seeking. How toxic is that? Notice I haven't backed any particulars in the corner. You know these, because I'm coming up on my last two. These are probably for women mostly, but I'm going to say men as well. I've said this so much, like right before I speak, I'd be like, yo, I've said these things how many times? But I'm humble because, again, let's go back to the top of the show, the comments on the last episode. So if I'm saying some of the same things, but just in a different way and under different topics, so be it. The self-confidence you must carry, the self-confidence you must have within self, you know, maybe you need to make a notepad and write down small achievements, things you accomplish, days that were good, what were good about them. There's exercises to do. I'm not expecting just everybody to have confidence off rip without any work put in, but I'm saying these are positive distractions to do so you don't become an attention seeker, because that means to me that you're real fragile. Listen, being noticed, being given flowers, a shout out, any type of love that you're being noticed is not a bad thing. I'm not saying that. That's dope when it comes organically by itself and it's genuine. Sitting here trying to do things to make sure that happens, or do things for validation, or do things like kind of on like a desperate heave to get reaction, is where the problem lies. That's toxic. Because if you're able to have this self-confidence, whether, like, again, you write down notes on yourself, it's kind of, you got it or you don't. So the keeping notes could maybe get you there. But for my people out there with the super confidence, don't need the attention per se, don't always get hyped about it. And nobody's perfect, because even I sit here and say, I got the self-confidence where I know I don't attention seek, but I can't act like if it's given for free. I don't sometimes get a little tickled about it, a little chuckle. You know what I'm saying? So it's dope, but you still, even in that, got to keep it. Don't celebrities do that? You know, a great job at that. You know, if a celebrity comes into a place, an establishment, everybody goes crazy, they're able to maintain. But how much are they really maintaining? They just doing that for the public eye. Behind closed doors, they may be losing it. Like, yo, yeah, I need that. Like, you know, that's what fuels them. So I say that to say, if you rely on that, or that's you, you're going to crash very hard, because when it's not there, then what? Because I don't know. I don't care how much of a strategy you have. I don't care how much you think you can lock in and get the attention that you seek. What happens when it's not there? How do you feel? This is why this is toxic. I can't say it enough, because if you have the confidence, you believe in yourself, the days you get attention, cool. The days you don't, cool. But if this is what you rely on, you're going to have a lot of rough days, because I don't know nobody on every single day that they breathe and walk this earth or their attention is on the foul. And sometimes it's the wrong attention, especially if they do some bozo shit. Because you stay there attention seeking, and now when you do something bozo, foolish, or a little desperate, and you get called out on it, you wanted attention, right? There's your attention. There you go, right there. How you feel now? Sometimes it's better to stay under the radar, especially if you're a fuck up. Stop asking for shit you really ain't ready for. I'm telling you, because it comes at all levels. This universe is not controlled by nobody but a higher power, right? So keep asking for shit. What you ask for, you'll get. But you don't get to dictate how you get that. Remember that. You have no say-so in that. So keep wanting things. Keep it up. I ain't trying to play with you. I'm just saying. That's a bad move right there. You should never be an attention seeker. Now, sorry if I'm slightly harsher on the guys. You better not be. I'm not giving a pass to women, but I kind of understand a little why they do it. Women have emotions, and that taps in with confidence all the time, I feel. I feel like emotion and confidence bumps heads. So, fellas, if you're more emotional than a man should be, you'll have this problem. Women, you're supposed to have emotions. So I see why you may have this problem, but still, snap out of it. That ain't no friggin' excuse. Just us bringing this to the light right here should make you do better. Cut it out. That attention ain't genuine. Keep going hard for that shit. It ain't genuine, because whatever's deserving will come without you having to do anything to get it. Just calm down. Calm your ass down. All right? We closing out. Youth is some women's strongest attribute mentally. Mental. No credibility, accountability, weight, height, and finances. Now, I said earlier about in our 20s and 30s, the mistakes that we make or whatever, if we got played with or we took L's, it's because the younger you are, the more mistakes you're allowed to an extent to learn from it, to have your story to tell, that when you get older, you won't make these same mistakes again. But this is different. This is something I witness weekly. Like, this is a straight call out. I ain't gonna lie. Now, I did say men too, but I won't really do specifics. Men, you know what you out there doing, and you think because you young, it's cool. The one thing I'll do, fine, so the ladies don't just feel all attacked. You're sagging your pants. I'm sick of seeing that. That's not the wave. I don't want to see your drawers. I don't care how clean they are or how much they cost. That's an example right there. Then I'll leave that right there. Women, I honestly feel that a lot of you, because you're young, you can behave however and still get validation, attention seeking, still get court, still get offers, still get dates, and you can behave like an ass. 1. 2, I feel like you don't feel you should be in good shape. It kills me. Sorry. You gotta get this, because maybe it'll help you snap out of it. I ain't saying everybody gonna be shaped like a model for television, but if I don't care how old you are, and we ain't gonna use that European scale, the height and the weight thing, because we all dispute that that's not for black folks. So I'm not gonna give you exact numbers, but women, you young ones, 20 to 30, that because you young and whatever confidence or wherever you do get your confidence from, you think that allows you to not care about how heavy you are, how sloppy you look. And because you got a cute face and you young and you still get all the attention, that you shouldn't aim to be better. I'm sorry. That's not attractive. I don't care how young you is, how cute in the face you is, your hair, your mani, your petty, your lash. We are not keeping it real, y'all. We just letting shit be. Things you have control over, that's what I mean. Your weight, you have control over that to an extent. I'm not going to bash you about shit that you don't. So weight, health, tie hand in hand. Finances are right. I'm going to be a little lenient if you blow your check on 1 or 2 days, not really giving you no damn leniency, but I'm more lenient on that than your weight and your health. But these are privileged people that because they get coddled, because they attention seek and think they succeeded, that they don't have to have no accountability or credibility in this life. Don't you know that being young is an advantage where if you listen to maybe older people or the people around you that's positive, that means something, that you can avoid a lot of bullshit and get right to being in a good path sooner than the generation behind you, in front of you, wherever you want to call it. Around you is signs, clues, examples, experiences. Y'all have the upper hand. And then with technology that y'all got today that we didn't have, use that in another way than the way you're using it. Listen, I ain't trying to sit here and preach and not say not have no fun, clown around, BS sometimes. I get that. We all want to have a good time. I'm just saying it's getting a little bit out of control though. Get it together. Things you can change that you do have control over, pay attention to that. Slow progress is better than no progress. So you're not going to jump up tomorrow and get your money right away, your weight and your health right, but stop letting yourself go and being totally oblivious to it. Because you have the upper hand. If you can look at us older cats, take something good from that and implement it while you're still young. Now you unstoppable. Now I bet you don't need attention because you jumped in front of that early. Don't go down the same path of your parents, your cousins, or whoever who had it rough that's trying to tell you that I'm putting you on so you don't gotta walk down these same blocks. I don't care how successful we came out. If you could avoid shit, shouldn't you? I gotta go to work, but if they're gonna just pay me, you think I'm gonna go to work? I'm just saying. Let's use our senses a little. Let's take advantage of things in a positive way. Not just for attention, not just because we feel privileged, not just because we exist. Like really put some work in and you'll see a reward early on. So it won't be harder for you later. You could listen or not. You hear me? But that's it. So till the next time, you know my 3 P's. Stay positive, stay progressive, and stay pushing. I see you later.